My bulky, disgruntled, clumsy father used to constantly tell me a long-winded, gloomy, emotional-inducing, heart-gripping story, and I would like to passionately and sincerely share it with you. It blissfully and casually begins with my teenage, noticeably a virgin, penniless, semi-perverted, tall, dishonest father standing in a shady back alley behind a local cheap Chinese restaurant next to a sleeping, tiny, thin-lipped, scab-infested, homeless and helpless, filthy man. Tossing and turning, the urine-stained, homeless, filthy man quietly mumbled dyslexic, bilingual, hate-filled anti-Semitic slurs, as well as various cryptic things about the long-legged devil that endlessly plagued his shit-smelling, putrid soul since the age of 9. My worthless, neck-bearded, poorly dressed, fedora-wearing father occasionally stood quietly over this abomination of trash that some would have such audacity to call a typical, proper, upright, bipedal human being that is in good standing with the widely diverse world by most of its many diverse and sometimes ironically conflicting and humorous, ever-evolving moral standards. This almost toothless, brain-dead, shoeless, absurd man that lay before my father told his very own short-winded, magical, fear-filled hate stories while he slept in yesterday's garbage. This scum-covered sleeping man screamed violently and harshly, spoke of ridiculous, impossible science fiction that has been concluded to be 100% out of the box, illogical, circus sideshow level want-to-be magic, and hypothetical, throwaway, frowned upon to say the least, nonsensical nonsense. Countless undoubtedly absurd, proven to be false claims that just simply could not within a reasonable doubt possibly be comprehended by a rational mind and then genuinely and or unsarcastically be believed by any single person that is consciously living a life on this multimillion-year-old wonderful, resourceful, abundant planet, except for this slumbering, babbling, skinny, dirty old man. This disgusting, curled-up shell of a man spoke of consensual and forced incest that somehow in his mind leads to the truth in all things knowable and unknowable. He raved about accounts of rape, cash, and legal non-consensual forced underage happy marriages. He would quiver when boasting about the ill-reasoned, divinely dealt genocide and systematic oppressive sexy sex slavery. These were some of the subjects that he touched upon very often. He condescendingly rambled on and on for many hours about what he claims to be the holy written word of the almighty, masterful, all-knowing, perfect, loving Creator. He would stand on all fours in his sleep when he prophesied about the coming end times, and would calmly lay back down when he reached the end of what he referred to as his untransmittable, final, non-tainted message to the cancer dwelling on this floating rock that he tirelessly insisted mysteriously hung on nothing. My half-inbred, clinically diagnosed autistic father never tried to wake this potentially dangerous yet feeble man from his slumber, and he had never had seen the man awake. It was typical for my father to leave expired chocolate mints by the man's makeshift tire toilet as a peace offering, just in case the man ever opened his eyes and went on the offensive attack. My father would always end this story by explaining to me that it does not matter what the Jews or the Muslims say, Hitler was a Christian and never did anything wrong. It took me a few years to finally understand that this was the moral that my father took away from the homeless man that slept in the alley preaching his word, so that I may pass it on to you for your studies into the meaning of it all. Amen.